All right, this is Doug and Steve here at C2E2, and we are here with the five-time WCW champion and WWE announcer Booker T. Booker T, glad you made it here to Chicago, and thank you for being on our podcast.
Oh, man, no problem, man. Glad to be here, man. It's an awesome event. I'm soaking it all in, getting a chance to see some people that probably hadn't seen me in a quite long time, or maybe never, so having a great time.
Wonderful. And I want to get this out there now. We know you have a company in Texas that you run called Reality Wrestling. How did that come about? I believe you run it with your brother, Stevie Ray?
My brother, he's a part of the show, but this is my company, Reality of Wrestling, along with my wife, Charmel. We've been having a company for about 7 years now. Started out as BWA, and that just didn't work out properly, so we changed the name and rebranded to Reality of Wrestling. And we got our television show 2 years ago, and it's been going great ever since then. We're just putting on bigger and bigger events every month. Last month we had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Bret Hart come out and sign autographs, and had about 1,200 people there for the show. So it's one of those things, man. It just gets bigger and bigger the more work we put in.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it. Hopefully I get out to Texas to catch it sometime. I'd like to talk a little bit about your WCW tenure. You did amazing things, of course, Harlem Heat. What was it like to work for WCW at such a high point in that company's history? I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on in the wrestling industry at that time. There was a lot of back and forth between the two companies. What was it like as one of the top guys in WCW at that time?
I think it was just a good time to be in the business. You know what I mean? Arenas were being sold out. The war with WWE, getting the chance to be around some of the greats like, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat when I first broke in there, then WCW, wrestling Ric Flair on television, being in my pay-per-view, being in pay-per-view, been in the main event, my first pay-per-view there at WCW. It was awesome. Started at the bottom of that company and then, go all the way to the top of it as well, but it was a great time in wrestling at that time, and we always wish we could go back, but we can't.
Yeah, and it really was. As a fan, it was so much fun to watch because you never knew what happened. It had today it doesn't feel the same. It feels like you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. Back then it felt more spontaneous in a way.
It was real to us. We pretty much walked the fine line as far as what we want our characters to be back then. I think the difference is now you just got a lot of young talent out there that's trying to find themselves and come into their own. I think the more they mature, that's going to happen. You look at Randy Orton 10 years ago, he was a kid, now he's a grizzled veteran, on the roster, and I think the Seth Rollins and the Dean Ambrose and the Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, those guys, I can only imagine what it's going to look like in 10 years. When we see those guys, move up, as well as the guys down in NXT. You got a lot of young talent down there that's just looking to break out, and it's just going to take experience. Getting out there and putting the work in.
Right. Now, as a person who's been around the business for as long as you have, you've seen a lot of people come, you've seen a lot of people go. Talking about NXT, which superstar down in NXT, male or female, do you think is the next breakout star, or that might have that it factor?
It's really hard to say. You got a lot of raw talent down there, guys trying to find themselves. You look at a guy like Kevin Owens now, who's been out there on the indie circuit for many, many years, trying to, make his way. Now he has a chance to actually break through into WWE. He's a guy that's, most likely not to make it. You look at his makeup and his body and whatnot, but the guy got a lot of heart and a lot of talent. You look at Neville, who came, out of NXT, but that kid was on the road, busted his hump for the last, 5-6 years, doing, what he does, but it's really hard to say who's going to be the next breakout star, but, who's going to, reach up and grab that brass ring, that's the question.
Now, that brings up an interesting point as well, because there's a lot of, 5 years ago, even up to the past couple years, you've seen a lot of big guys in the WWE, and a lot of those guys were the ones that got to be champions. Now you've got a lot of guys in NXT, smaller, more sleeker athletes. Does it look to you like that might be the way that the business is going?
I think it's just evolution. It's a different time now. It's like the dinosaur. It's not around anymore. You look at the big guys like the Barbarian and British Bulldog. How much meat those guys are. You don't see those kind of guys anymore. They're wearing skinny jeans nowadays. Opposed to the wide leg jeans back.
Exactly.
Flares. Back in the day. So it's just evolution. Time changes, you know what I mean? And I think the business has changed. It's gone to a much, much younger look, as you may well know. If not, Tough Enough is coming back. And the age range for people that's sending videos in is from 18 to 25. So it's just a different era now. It's younger, faster, and more sleeker.
All right, then last question, because I don't want to hold you up all day. Can you speak a little bit about what it was like to go from being a wrestler to switching over to commentary and having to do commentary every week? What was the curve like for transferring over?
Well, when I came back, I went to SmackDown back in 2011, and I just wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? It was a huge, huge step trying to be a broadcast journalist, even though I had been in the business for 25 years, being able to go out there and recant what happened last week and the week before that and the week before that and the pay-per-view before that and the pay-per-view before that. It's just something you have to do your due diligence. You have to do a lot of studying, a lot of writing, a lot of preparing. And I think that's what I do now. And, my second time around, after going to the pre-show for about a year, coming back now doing Raw, it's a 5-hour preparation for a 3-hour show. And it's like that on a weekly basis. You just have to prepare, or you're going to prepare to fail every time.
Well, Booker, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today at C2E2, and we wish you all the best in continuing as announcer, because it's an absolute blast to listen to you speak.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.